From our family to yours. Happy holidays.
Better place, right, Terry?
Bah humbug. No. We would not want to eliminate them or you. Okay, we got to leave.
Except for one, Jonathan.
Okay, we got to leave it there. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. Have a great weekend. All the news is straight ahead right here on the Fox News Channel. We'll see you back here next week.
I'm Brian Wilson, live from Washington for the next hour. Ahead on Weekend Live, high-level meetings in the Mideast, an attempt by the Bush administration to get a handle on the escalating chaos in Iraq. Vice President Cheney in Saudi Arabia today. An international murder mystery, a former KGB agent killed by a radioactive poison that is difficult to handle and is so deadly that it's 100% fatal even if trace amounts are consumed. And amid one of the biggest travel weekends of the year, a plan that may soon allow you to zip through the long security checkpoint lines. Also, the debut of our new Weekend Live Bah Humbug segment, where we work with Fox viewers to help those who get totally Scrooged during the holidays. The worldwide resources of Fox News are standing by. This is Weekend Live. Our top story, Vice President Dick Cheney landed in Saudi Arabia earlier today for talks with King Abdullah. The Bush administration is hoping to get assistance from more moderate Arab nations in an effort to quell the violence in Iraq. Specifically, the U.S. wants Saudi Arabia to use its influence with Iraq's Sunni minority. Vice President Cheney precedes the president to the region. Mr. Bush is planning a trip next week to Jordan, where he will meet with Iraqi Prime Minister Nouri al-Maliki. It's a meeting the whole world will be watching. Rudy Bakhtiar is live here in Washington with a preview of that. Hello, Rudy.
Hello to you, Brian. Next week, President Bush will ask Iraqi Prime Minister Nouri al-Maliki to risk his political life by exerting pressure on allies like radical Shiite cleric Muqtada al-Sadr to rein in the sectarian violence threatening to plunge Iraq into civil war. President Bush, under pressure himself to make changes in Iraq, will also push for Iraqi security forces to assume more control of Iraq's security, something Democrats will be pushing for when they take control of the House and Senate this January.
Sectarian violence continues to rage. Our brave servicemen and women continue to be maimed and killed. And the war is not making our nation safer or more secure. In the days ahead, Iraqis must make the tough decisions and accept responsibility for their future.
Adding to the pressure on the embattled Iraqi premier is the latest stand by Iraqi politicians allied with al-Sadr, who are threatening to resign from the government if al-Maliki follows through with the meeting. The Sadrists hold 6 cabinet seats and have 30 members in parliament, and al-Maliki, a Shiite himself, relies heavily on their support. Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice will also join President Bush in Amman next week. There, she'll be strategizing on the sidelines with top leaders attending the annual Middle East Conference and campaigning for support for Prime Minister al-Maliki's fledgling government. But top White House officials are downplaying expectations for this highly anticipated meeting between President Bush and al-Maliki, saying significant changes in strategy won't come until those 3 key reports from the Iraqi study group on the future of Iraq hit the president's desk in December. Back to you, Brian.
Rudy Bakhtiar, thank you much. In Iraq, coalition forces launching some big strikes against the insurgency, 22 terrorists killed, and a bomb-making factory near Baghdad destroyed. Steve Harrigan is live in Baghdad with details on that. Hello, Steve.
Brian, 8 p.m. here in Baghdad, and the fireworks are going off behind me in a steady stream. In the last few minutes, we've heard several explosions as well as some Kalashnikov fire and some big .50 caliber gunfire as well. In the meantime, burial is going on for some of the more than 200 people killed Thursday in attacks in the Shiite region of Baghdad known as Sadr City, many of those bodies being transported by car or by minivan south 100 miles to the holy Shiite city of Najaf in the worst attacks since the start of the war. Now, there is a tight curfew in effect in Baghdad since those attacks, which were largely car bombs and mortar blasts on Thursday. There's almost no vehicles on the road now, no time to clean up either. The curfew has stopped most commerce, but it has not stopped the violence. There were at least 30 Sunni Muslims killed in retaliatory attacks, many of them used with hand grenades. And in those raids you alluded to, U.S. and coalition forces launched attacks against suspected terrorists, killing more than 20. One bomb-making factory was destroyed by an airstrike, and 3 carloads of Iraqis suspected to be carrying out car bomb attacks were also killed. This after they failed to stop when warning shots were fired. Brian, back to you.
Steve Harrigan in Baghdad. Thank you, Steve. British police are studying security camera footage today after finding radioactive traces of polonium-210 at 3 London locations visited by an ex-KGB spy. Alexander Litvinenko died on Thursday night after a traumatic 3-week illness, and he accused Russian President Vladimir Putin for his murder in the waning moments of his life. We'll have more news and analysis on this developing story, including a live report from Scotland Yard a bit later in this broadcast. Now, are you a frequent traveler, sick and tired of waiting in long security lines at the airport? The TSA is about to start testing a program that could make your life much easier. Julie Kurtz is here in our Washington bureau with that story. Hello, Julie.
Hi, Brian. Well, the program for frequent flyers called the Registered Traveler was created after the 9/11 attacks and all the ramped-up security and long lines at our nation's airports. The idea is for frequent flyers to pay a fee to get pre-screened by submitting to background checks and even fingerprinting ahead of time, so these pre-registered flyers can get through airport security faster. Well, it sounds like a good idea, but so far it's only been run as a pilot program in the Orlando, Florida airport. Now, just yesterday, TSA announced it will charge $28 per passenger per year to airports and private security companies to process the security check information. This TSA fee setting means the program is now likely to expand to major U.S. airports. TSA officials say the Registered Traveler program, though, doesn't mean TSA or anyone can let down their guard.
I think the key thing is that there are people out there plotting to attack, and what specific measure they use might vary as they see security measures vary. So we have to be alert, not just to be locked in on whatever the latest one is or the one that we think they might use. We have to cover the whole spectrum of what could possibly be used and make it hard for them to predict.
So while TSA says it will charge $28 a year to process the security information for each frequent flyer, the private companies and airports that will run this program will add a fee onto that. It will probably be about $100 a year for frequent flyers to get pre-screened. So far, the nation's 3 busiest airports, Brian, Atlanta, Chicago O'Hare, and Los Angeles, have asked the TSA to let them run these programs. I checked with TSA officials this morning. No real word, though, on when this program will actually move beyond the pilot program at Orlando airports and expand across the country, but hopefully soon. Back to you, Brian.
Julie Kurtz, thank you. Wicked winter weather on a Washington state highway. 2 men killed when a 100-foot tall tree crashed onto I-90. Troopers say they haven't determined what brought the tree down, but they suspect that heavy, wet snow had loosened the ground, and the extra weight of the snow on the branches may have caused the tree to topple. Meteorologist Rick Reichmuth is at the Fox Weather Center with today's forecast. Rick, how's it looking out there today?
I tell you what, Brian, it's looking very nice for a lot of people anywhere across the east. Look at these temperatures right now. It's 62 in Dallas, 65 in St. Louis, and 53 in Chicago. Very nice conditions all up and down the east. Very cold across the far northern plains. It's only 14 right now in Bismarck, 13 in Helena. So that gives you an idea. Very cold air across the northern Rockies. That is going to stick around for much of this week. Now, here's the next system approaching the Pacific Northwest. Really a bit of a break today. Still some drizzle and some snow, but not anything like we've seen or what we will see for tomorrow when this next storm moves on in. Very windy conditions again all up and down the coast of Oregon. And this time, much of the energy is going to move down across parts of California. So we are going to start to see some snow across the Sierra Nevadas, Lake Tahoe, maybe a foot to 18 inches. Good news for the ski areas there. Meanwhile, Brian, out up and down the East Coast, look at this, just clear skies abound. That's going to be the case for the next couple of days. Brian.
Rick, thank you very much. South Korea will slaughter some 236,000 chickens after an outbreak of the virulent H5N1 form of bird flu at a chicken farm. The outbreak occurred at a farm in Iksan, about 150 miles south of Seoul. Earlier this week, South Korea's agriculture minister says no one has been infected by the virus thus far. Ohio-based Honey Baked Foods is recalling over 46,000 pounds of turkey and ham products that officials fear could cause listeriosis. Most healthy adults and children who are exposed to the bacteria that causes listeriosis do not get seriously ill, but Pregnant women are 20 times more susceptible to becoming ill, and it can lead to the death of their unborn babies. The company is voluntarily recalling the meat, which includes cooked, glazed, turkey and ham, and sliced products produced between September 5th and November 13th. Day 3 of a search for 2 missing brothers in Minnesota has turned up nothing. Dozens of trained searchers took to the land, air, and water yesterday looking for 4-year-old Tristan Anthony White and 2-year-old Avery Lee Stately. The 2 were last seen Wednesday playing in a yard on the Red Lake Indian Reservation in northwestern Minnesota. Early this morning, New York City police officers fatally shot a man as he left his bachelor party at a strip club in Queens. He was to be married later today. 2 of his friends were also shot. They're now hospitalized. It's not clear what sparked the shooting, but the mother of one of the wounded men says their car hit an unmarked police vehicle. Authorities are investigating. New Jersey authorities have now identified 2 of the 4 women whose bodies were found in a drainage ditch near Atlantic City. Molly Lyon is standing by live with details. Hello, Molly.
Hello, Brian. Progress is being made, but police are still struggling to identify 2 of the murdered women and searching for links between the victims. All 4 women were found on Monday in the same ditch behind a motel just west of Atlantic City. And the 2 women ID'd thus far have a history of prostitution. Police believe that 23-year-old Tracy Ann Roberts had been in the water for several days, possibly up to a week, when she was found along with the other victims. Investigators believe she died of asphyxiation by unspecified means. The first body discovered was that of 35-year-old Kim Raffo, who recently lived in a boarding house on Ocean Avenue in Atlantic City. Investigators believe she was strangled, killed just days before her body was found. The murders have sparked speculation that a serial killer is targeting prostitutes. There are a number of similarities between the women and how they were placed at the dump scene. For instance, none of them were wearing shoes or socks. All 4 were blonde, in their 20s or 30s. The bodies were spaced apart. The women's heads pointed towards the casinos of Atlantic City.
They were positioned, while they were some distance apart, they were positioned with their head facing east.
Lead investigators have stopped short of saying the murders are definitely the work of a serial killer. A task force made up of FBI agents, state police, and local investigators are working through the clues. Brian?
Molly Lyon, thank you. Democrats trying to set themselves up for a White House win in 2008, so why are they popping up on shows like Oprah and Martha Stewart? Our political panel will weigh in. And were you one of those intrepid souls who braved the malls on Black Friday? We'll tell you some shopping horror stories and take a look at how retailers may have fared. And later on, from the comedy club to court, hecklers insulted by sitcom star Michael Richards during a racist rant apparently want more than an apology. Stay with us, everyone.
The captioning for this program is brought to you by
Urenozinc, a patented dietary supplement for the prostate in the U.S., recommended by doctors everywhere. For a healthy prostate, visit your urologist and take Urenozinc, available at these retailers.
The only reason they're still alive is because you haven't told anyone where it is.
You're gonna steal his diamond.
Blood Diamond, rated R, starts to separate.
The Philips Norelco Smart Touch XL adjusts to your face for a closer shave with 50% more shaving surface and 3 shaving rings in each shaving head. Philips Norelco, the world's best-selling electric shaver. Simplicity is making every stroke count.
The Fusic, only from Sprint. It's a phone and an MP3 player, so you can download up to 1,000 of your favorite songs whenever you want. And music makes everything better. Here we have Jeff.
Hi, I'm Jeff.
Let's try that again.
You're beautiful. You're beautiful.
Hi, I'm Jeff.
You're beautiful. It's true.
This weekend only, switch to Sprint and get the Fusic for $49.99. Sprint, power up. Sprint gives you the power to preview and download music at the Sprint Music Store. So you can listen to your music whenever you want. And do it all on the Fusic by LG, only from Sprint. Store up to 1,000 songs on an MP3 player and wireless phone in one. This Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, get the Fusic for just $49.99. The power to download music wirelessly. Sprint, power up.
She was a powerful political figure, smart, ambitious, and poised for bigger things, until she turned up dead. Who would want to kill Kathy Augustine? We pieced together the forensic evidence, the motive, and revealed the disturbing and dark past of the man who stands accused, her own husband. Go inside the police investigation when Greta unravels a mystery that stunned this gambler's paradise. Today, watch Crime Scene, Gambling on Love, hosted by Greta Van Susteren.
Yeah, I know the midterm elections just ended. But guess what? The 2008 race has already begun. Republicans are out in front with names like Giuliani, McCain, and Romney. Democrats are popping up on shows like Oprah and Martha Stewart. What gives? Democratic strategist, Fox News contributor Bob Beckel is here, along with Republican strategist Rich Galen of Mullings.com. Gentlemen, let's talk about it. It seems like we just got through the election. Can't we have just a little rest before this starts, Bob?
No, you can't. Vilsack, the governor of Iowa, former governor of Iowa, is declaring next week, not just filing papers, declaring next week, which brings a question about what that does to Iowa generally. But you're going to see, look, these schedules have moved up. You're only 13, 14 months away. It takes a lot of money and a lot of time, and so you're going to see it all happen now before Christmas.
Rich, what's the urgency? People, as they always say, don't focus on the elections until the last minute anyway.
Two things. One is fundraising, and two is the amount of the number and quality of staff that's available. Both have some limits, although the fundraising is a big deal. You've got to start raising money. You've got to line up the fundraisers. You got to get them committed to you before they go to somebody else. Same thing with the staff. You know, in a football term, Bob, the skilled positions, there's not that many people available that know how to run a campaign at this level, and you try to lock those up as soon as possible. To do that, you've got to kind of get in the game very early.
So do you run the risk, though, of wearing people out, though, Bob?
Well, you can wear people out. I mean, it happened in campaigns I've seen before. We call them the screaming banshees. You know, about halfway through a campaign, they go up and put their heads against the wall. But Rich makes one point here. Most of the people who are going to be successful will not take matching fund money from the federal government, which means you're going to probably raise $200 million to compete. That's a lot of money in a race, and it's 13 months to put together.
John Edwards has been out there on Martha Stewart, and I saw him on the Letterman show.
You can't miss him, can you?
One of the problems you get into is that when you start this early, is that you by the time it really does begin to count, people have heard you for 2 years, and they go, well, that's not new. And then if you try to come up with something new, they go, well, wait a minute, what happened to all the other stuff? So you run the risk of getting in a box.
It's still an inside game, though, now. Not that many people paying attention, except for the fundraisers and the political players. People still won't engage it probably for another year, so you're all right to be out there doing it. I don't know why you want to do it, but you can.
Last word.
Okay,
Brian,
go ahead.
Last word. I want to congratulate my friend Bob for spending Thanksgiving at a homeless shelter serving meals. Many of us think we should do it. We all think we're going to do it. Only he does it, and I congratulate him.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Good to have you here.
You bet.
From Beirut to Baghdad's Iran is influencing the world in that region. When it comes to the Middle East, just how powerful is this member of the Axis of Evil? Then later, we'll tell you about an evil little elf whose holiday prank may be more felony than funny. Stay with us, everyone.
Plenty of sunshine through today with seasonal temperatures. We should reach our normal high of 80.
What a marvelously glorious looking shape. What a superbly spectacular marvel of rotating titanium.
I love this shaver. For a close, comfortable shave, get the world's only rotary with the power of titanium. The new Remington Titanium Rotary.
If there's anything that you want, like a heart that's oh so true, just call on me and I'll send it along with love from me to you, with love from me to you, with love from me to you.
Town & Country Chevrolet, our mission is providing you the best prices, selection, and service. And that's why loaded Chevy Tahoes and Suburbans are $10,000 off MSRP. And loaded Chevy Silverado Z71s are only $24,988. We believe there's no better time to buy and save than now, when great incentives plus huge discounts are waiting for you at Town & Country. It's an American revolution, only at Town & Country Chevrolet in Milwaukee. Drive home happy.
ESPN Monday Night Football, available on ESPN HD. ESPN, serving sports fans around the world.
Got the HD TV set? Then get the receiver. Call 1-888-COMCAST for all your high-def action.
Right now in real time, U.S. Vice President Dick Cheney arrived in Saudi Arabia today for talks with King Abdullah, seeking the royal family's influence to calm Iraq after an especially violent week. British police are scouring hours of security camera footage at 3 separate locations in London as they look for clues into the poisoning of a former Russian spy. New Jersey authorities are making headway as they have now identified 2 of the 4 women whose bodies were found in a drainage ditch near Atlantic City. Just some of the stories we're watching for you right now. The threats growing louder in Lebanon, Hezbollah vowing to go all out to bring down the U.S.-backed government there if its demands for more power are not met. All this in the aftermath of the brutal assassination of an anti-Syrian leader. Dana, we'll have more on that a little bit later. We want to bring in a couple of people who are real experts on all this right now to talk about it more. Joining us, Foreign Affairs Analyst, Ambassador Mark Ginsburg, and a member of the National Security Council staff for Presidents Bush 41 and Clinton. Dan Poneman is here to talk about it as well. Gentlemen, we've been looking at this situation. We know that the whole region is a little bit in turmoil right now. Ambassador, your assessment.
There's a Shiite Iron Curtain that is about to descend on the Middle East, and it's going to divide Sunni from Shiite countries. Vice President Cheney and Secretary Rice and the President are essentially engaged in a very deliberate game of diplomatic catch-up. The problem is, Brian, is that the Iranians have been playing chess, and we have been really slow in getting our checkers game off the match at this point in time. In other words, our diplomacy is not in the crisis mode that it needs to be in, given the stakes that now are at play from Lebanon across to Iraq and into Iran at this point.
Dan, your thoughts?
It's a critical moment. We now see a multi-layered chessboard. We have Iran seeking to assert its dominance, the traditional Persian dominance in the region. That's got to arouse a lot of resentment and objection from Egypt and Saudi Arabia, hence the Vice President's visit. The question now really is whether the United States is going to be able to exercise the kind of leadership to counter Iran's growing influence.
If you are the Vice President and you're meeting today with King Abdullah in Saudi Arabia, what is the message that you want to deliver? What do you hope to hear from him?
There's 2 things here, Brian, that I think are essential. The Vice President's clearly trying to convince the Saudis to lead, in effect, a moderate Sunni coalition to basically serve as a counterweight to Iran's growing influence, to try to send a signal, first of all, to the Lebanese government to hold firm. Do not topple under the weight of Nasrallah's efforts to topple them. Number 2, for the Saudis and the Egyptians and the Jordanians to stand up in support of the Maliki government and to send a strong signal to Iran that we, moderate Arab Sunni regimes, resent your interference in Iraqi affairs.
Now, the other big meeting, of course, is the president's going to Jordan. Nouri al-Maliki is coming out of Iraq for a meeting there. That's going to be a very important meeting. What needs to happen there in your estimation?
I think there are 2 things that the president needs to do. Number 1, he's got to reassure al-Maliki that the United States is there, that we've had these elections, but we are going to be supportive of that government as long as it maintains a path of solidarity with the other factions. The other critical issue is he needs to encourage al-Maliki to be as strong as possible in keeping the Shia from a complete bloodbath with the Sunnis, because once the Shia have gone the same way as the Sunnis have gone, the whole situation will fall apart.
It would seem to me a critical moment in what's going on in that region.
It is, Brian. I don't think in the 50 years that I've been involved in watching Middle East diplomacy that we have ever reached a point where we have seen American influence under such attack, our allies under such attack, and the dangers to Israel, Lebanon, even Saudi Arabia, and our major investment in Iraq on the precipice of such major problems as we have right now.
Is this a moment for resolve on the part of the United States?
Resolve, but we've got to reassert the initiative, Brian. I think the critical thing now is if we could try to get something going on the Middle East peace process, it could begin to change the equation and could begin to regain the initiative and sap some of the animus that is now lodged against the United States.
Gentlemen, thank you very much. Good to have you here. Protestant militant Michael Stone has been charged overnight with attempting to murder 5 people in Northern Ireland. If you haven't heard about this story, Stone was tackled by security officers yesterday after a brazen attempt to detonate explosives at the parliamentary building in Belfast. He was found to be carrying a handgun, a knife, and a bag containing 6 to 8 homemade pipe bombs. The Associated Press reporting a civil defense official says that 14 people have drowned and 58 people were rescued after a small ferry capsized in rough waters off the southern coast of the Philippines. It's still not clear exactly how many passengers were on the ship. We'll bring you more details on that story as they become available. Coming up, a grandmother of 11 steps up to fight the war on terror. We'll tell you why she's getting ready to go off to Afghanistan. 6 people with a Las Vegas story they will never forget. A crash landing they all walked away from. And then a segment we have entitled Bah Humbug. We'll debut a new holiday feature on Weekend Live where you work with us to right a Christmas wrong. We're very excited about this idea. We want you to stay with us and find out what the Bah Humbug segment is all about. Back in just a moment.
At Fred Meyer and Littman Jewelers, this 1-carat total weight diamond anniversary ring is $715. But during our 3-day sale, save $466 and pay just $249.
For all those special times.
Fred Meyer and Littman Jewelers.
Always elegant, always refined. Santa Margherita Pinot Grigio. The most requested imported wine in fine restaurants. Taste is the difference. Experience Santa Margherita from Paterno Wines International.
You just got those glasses and they're scratched already? Introducing the Original Lens Doctor, the fast, easy way to fix scratches in your glasses and make them good as new again. The secret is the space-age clear polymer that fills microscopic scratches and imperfections on the surface of the lens, then dries to a hard protective surface with a special UV inhibitor. Amazing! The Original Lens Doctor works on eyeglasses, reading glasses, sunglasses, protective goggles, clear or prescription. If it's scratched or even just cloudy, the Original Lens Doctor will repair it. Watch, we're scratching these expensive glasses on purpose. What a mess! But the Original Lens Doctor glides on silky smooth, instantly filling the surface imperfections. Just slide over the lens surface with the unique angle tip applicator. The clear polymers in the Original Lens Doctor go to work, repairing even the toughest scratches and surface imperfections like magic. It really is amazing.
I have an odd prescription, so I pay a lot every time I get glasses, and it's a big deal when I scratch them. But with Lens Doctor, I just fill and seal the scratches, and my glasses are good as new, and I save hundreds.
The Lens Doctor even works miracles on these cheap sunglasses. I just clean, fill in the scratches, and that's it. Good as new.
No replacing glasses for one minor scratch, and the Original Lens Doctor won't damage or change your prescription. Now, on this special TV offer, get the Original Lens Doctor Cleaning Solution for cleaning dust and impurities from the lens and deep inside the scratches, and the revolutionary Original Lens Doctor Treatment Solution for filling the scratches and making your lenses like new again. Call right now and get this optical quality cleaning cloth free. You get the Original Lens Doctor System. All this for just $14.95. Call right now and we'll double the size. Don't wait. Get the Original Lens Doctor now.
To order, call 1-800-774-8128. That's 1-800-774-8128. Call now.
Now, just ahead of our Bah Humbug segment, which you do not want to miss, it's time for a quick check of today's headlines. Greg Jarrett is at the Fox News desk in New York. Hello, Greg.
All right, no Bah Humbug from us here in New York.
No,
Brian,
of course
thanks
not.
very
Yeah.
much. Hello, everyone. British commandos of the Royal Marines engaging in open combat with suspected Taliban forces in southern Afghanistan. The firefight lasted a couple of hours with the terrorists firing rocket-propelled grenades, mortars, and machine guns. The British responded with helicopter gunships and mortar rounds. They think they may have discovered a Taliban stronghold in the area. No word on how many casualties there were. The multinational force in Iraq says coalition troops killed 12 terrorists and destroyed a bomb-making factory in a raid near Al-Taji today. Now, meanwhile, Baghdad's curfew is delaying efforts to clean up after a revenge attack on Sunnis in the neighborhood of Huniya. Gunmen lobbing hand grenades rampaged through the neighborhood Friday, retaliating for the massacre that killed more than 200 people in Sadr City 2 days earlier. Scotland Yard detectives retracing the steps of a former Russian spy who died mysteriously at a London hospital Thursday. They say traces of the radioactive substance that killed Alexander Litvinenko were found in a hotel bar and restaurant he went to November 1st. Litvinenko dictated a deathbed accusation against Russian President Vladimir Putin. The Kremlin has denied any involvement in the murder and promised to cooperate with British investigators. The Health Protection Agency is ordering urine tests to people who fear they may have come in contact with the dying man. Pretty tough year for Christmas tree farmers, being blamed on drought conditions in Minnesota. The farmers say mature trees are doing okay, but the young saplings, well, they're having trouble making it. Newly planted trees need 3 years of growth to survive drought conditions. One farmer says he's lost 20,000 trees to the drought, and now he's fighting back with a $60,000 irrigation system. We're going to have more headlines, top of the hour. I'm Greg Jarrett. Back to Brian Wilson in Washington and more Weekend Live. Brian?
Greg, thank you very much. Volvo announcing a recall of about 360,000 cars because of a problem with the speed control. The company says a malfunction in the electronic throttle system can cause engines to lose power without warning, then shift in what do they call limp home mode, allowing the car to drive only a maximum of 15 miles per hour. The recall affects a variety of models built between 1999 and 2002. Forget the mall. The Black Friday holiday rush also hit 2 major online retailers yesterday. Websites operated by Walmart and Walt Disney were disrupted for much of the day yesterday due to higher than anticipated traffic. Amazon.com also had problems earlier in the day. They have just a little more time to work out the bugs because Cyber Monday is coming, traditionally the biggest online shopping day of the year. Well, judging by the long lines and massive crowds at the mall yesterday, it's going to be a very Merry Christmas for many retailers. Joining me with an early look at the numbers is Fox News business contributor Scott Blyer. So much of what retailers do is dependent on having a good Christmas season, a good holiday season. How's it looking?
Well, so far it looks to compete with the year 1999, which was pretty much the best bricks and mortar year, and that was, before the internet bubble burst. And, the economy has been doing very well for the past 3 years, and it's done very well over the past couple of months, especially when you include the price of gasoline dropping from, the low 3s to the low 2s per gallon. This is absolutely starting to be a very joyful Christmas season for retailers. And as you mentioned, online is the story again this year, growing 30% over last year. It's going to break $30 billion in sales, and it's expected to grow by leaps and bounds every year. Online is becoming not just online stores, but bricks and mortar stores with an online presence, like Walmart, Disney, Costco. They are selling like gangbusters on the internet, and that's going to continue.
So it seems to me that when we hear this kind of news, it again speaks to the fact that the underlying foundation of the economy must be pretty strong, because people wouldn't be spending this kind of money if they didn't feel pretty secure about things.
Brian, there's no doubt about it. The facts speak for themselves. I don't know if you've noticed, but the Dow is hitting all-time highs.
I have noticed.
The S&P 500 is a stone's throw away, and while NASDAQ is still very far away, NASDAQ has had a spectacular year. The market anticipates that later this year, going into next year, the economy is going to remain robust, even with the deflation of some of the housing issues that the country's faced over the past 6 to 12 months. So I got to tell you, the economy's good. It's going to be a good Christmas season. Going forward to 2007, it's going to remain strong as well.
Scott, thank you very much.
Thanks, Brian.
We want you to check this out. Don Bogenschitz of Sheboygan, Wisconsin woke up yesterday morning to find his lawn completely decorated for the holidays. The only problem, it was totally bare when he went to sleep the night before, so where did it all come from? Well, after he called police, he found out that every single candy cane, reindeer, and decoration on his lawn was actually stolen from somewhere else. So Bogenschitz now has to decide whether or not he's going to return all this stuff to his rightful owners. Bah Humbug story there. And we're starting a new feature this week called Bah Humbug. Every year, you know, it seems we in the news business hear stories about the Scrooges out there who ruin other people's holidays. But because we here at Weekend Live are deeply in the holiday spirit, we hope to work with you to right some of these Christmas wrongs. Today, the story of Cindy McDrew, who founded the charity Operation Second Chance. She's here in studio with me in Washington. Cindy, first of all, what is Operation Second Chance?
We're a nonprofit organization that assists the wounded soldiers that are coming back from Iraq and Afghanistan. They're at Walter Reed or Bethesda Naval Hospital.
All right, now one of the things that was a very big local story. You went to one of the local malls up in Montgomery County here in the Washington, D.C. area, and you had purchased a couple of these hard-to-get video games, right?
I purchased an Xbox 360 and a PSP game.
And these were not for your own kids or for your own family.
No.
These were for the kids of injured soldiers.
Yes.
And so you're heading to the parking lot, probably feeling pretty good about all this, and something really horrible happened.
Yes, as I was exiting the store, I didn't know I was being followed, and I went to my truck, opened the door, and I put my package on the back seat. As soon as I did that, I was pushed from behind and nudged in the back with something, the elbow maybe, and this person reached in and grabbed the bag and took off running.
Thank goodness you weren't hurt.
I wasn't hurt at the time, no.
Oh, okay. But the police have investigated? Have they come up with any leads on all this?
They checked the surveillance camera, and they could see the two guys following me, and I don't think they got a very good look at their face, but they know what they were wearing.
Yeah. Well, here it is, a situation where you, trying to do some good in the world, found yourself actually becoming the victim of a crime, and the real victim of this crime is not only you, but the kids who now probably will not get there. But people have responded somewhat?
The people have been wonderful. I've received a lot of online donations, replacing specifically those two items that were stolen from me. The amount of good that's coming out of this is just phenomenal.
Well, we think maybe some more good can be done for this worthy charity. So, this is where our fantastic Fox viewers come in. If you feel so led, let's show Cindy exactly how she might get this problem solved even better, how she might help others. You can go to her website address, which is operationsecondchance.org. There it is on your screen. It's www.operationsecondchance.org. There you can learn about how you might want to help people out. And if you hear about someone who has been seriously Scrooged this holiday season, we want you to let us know. Our address, of course, is weekendlive@foxnews.com. We have great viewers. They are compassionate people, and I feel certain, Cindy, that you're going to be hearing from more than a few of them.
Thank you very much.
Merry Christmas and good luck.
Thank you.
All right. Coming up, a 59-year-old grandmother from Northern California has been called up for duty in Afghanistan. We'll tell you that story and much more when we come back. Stay with us, everyone.
We believe the best service anticipates your needs. Business class is different on British Airways.
You put your body under stress with exercise and just the pace of everyday living. Muscles and joints tighten up. Now you can soothe away tension and fatigue with the Shiatsu massaging cushion from Homedics. The deep kneading action is just like a Shiatsu massage in your own home. In fact,
makes me feel human again.
It's so good that Consumers Digest has given the SPM 200 a Best Buy award.
They want spirituality shut out of our schools, our government God-free, even cut Christ out of Christmas.
I think the American people have just about had it with this. It's the gutting of our religious heritage.
Now we take you to the front lines in America's fight over faith.
The First Amendment is increasingly used to silence people of faith.
How far are some threatening to go to separate church and state? Today, don't miss our special Religion in America, Church and State, hosted by Britt Hugh.
Right now, in real time, Iraqi police find the bodies of 21 men from an extended Shiite family today, just hours after they were abducted. This after one of the bloodiest weeks of sectarian violence. Back here in the U.S., the search continues for two missing Minnesota brothers who were last seen on Wednesday playing in a yard on the Red Lake Indian Reservation. And Protestant militant Michael Stone, now charged with attempted murder after he stormed the Northern Ireland parliamentary building yesterday with a bag full of explosives, a handgun, and a knife. Just some of the stories we're watching for you right now. Talk about a photo op. A lucky passenger on a helicopter ride off the coast of New Zealand caught this shot yesterday. A huge chunk of an iceberg breaking off, exposing the normally hidden underside. Look at that as it rose to the surface. The icebergs have become quite a tourist destination when they first appeared off the coast of New Zealand nearly 2 weeks ago. 6 people on board a small plane in Nevada thankful to be alive today after a disastrous takeoff. On Friday, the Cessna 210 lifted off from Las Vegas, headed toward Salt Lake, when it clipped telephone and cable lines on departure. The aircraft slammed into the ground about a half-mile away, snapping the plane's tail off when it hit the ground. Miraculously, none of the passengers were injured. Congress is not in session, but there's plenty of activity behind the scenes as Democrats put the finishing touches on their agenda and Republicans adjust to life in the minority. Joining me to preview the fights ahead, Chris Wallace. He is, of course, the host of Fox News Sunday. Chris, what you got going on this weekend? A pretty good political show?
Yeah, I think it's a very good political show, he said modestly.
We would be disappointed if it weren't.
If it weren't. No, we're going to be talking to 3 of the fellows who are about to become chairman of some of the most powerful committees on Capitol Hill. Ways and Means, which writes all the taxes, Financial Services involving oversight of a number of financial issues, and Energy and Commerce, which is involved with gas prices and health care and all kinds of things. We'll be talking to these 3 Democrats, including Charlie Rangel. I think we'll probably ask him about the draft. And questions really about whether the Democrats are going to be able to restrain themselves and govern from the center, or whether they're going to end up having to pay back the liberals who have supported them with organization and money as they now take over. And then we'll also talk with the comeback kid, Trent Lott, who you may remember 4 years ago this month was unceremoniously ushered out of the Republican leadership because of approving comments he made about Strom Thurmond. He's now back as the #2 Republican in the Republican majority in the Senate. We'll talk to him about how he came back and how the Republicans can do it.
Fox News Sunday is always, of course, compelling television, but that's not why entirely we have you here, Chris, because I need to talk to you about something. Last week we were talking about the Michigan-Ohio State University game.
I remember that
conversation. You made a comment, and I remember it as if it were only 1 week ago today.
They are in for a long and very disappointing afternoon.
Oh, really?
Michigan is going to take them and beat them badly. They're going to win it for Bo, and Michigan will go on to the national championship game, and Ohio State will go to some minor bowl, which they so richly deserve.
Chris, that's exactly the way I remember it happening, Chris. And yet, as I read the paper the next day, I seem to recall that it was Ohio State that defeated Michigan, not the other way around.
I'm going to do what politicians do on Fox News Sunday when I ask them, Brian, you shouldn't fall prey to this blame game. I mean, we need to move on. Let's not look at the past. No, when I make a mistake, I make a butte. Ohio State won. They were the better team on the field but there is the possibility of a rematch. And so the last part of my statement, Michigan to the national championship game, still a possibility.
I'm just going to tell you that, again, it makes me question your football acumen. First of all, there's that blind loyalty you have to the Redskins. And now these predictions that are I mean, bold predictions, not minor, they were bold predictions, and we saw the results of what happened. Chris Wallace, as always, it's good for you here to come here and tell us about Fox News Sunday.
Don't play the blame game. Don't play the blame game.
Allow us to abuse you. That's part of the fun, too. Check your local listings, folks, for Chris's show. A critic of Russian President Vladimir Putin dies after being poisoned with radioactive polonium-210, a substance that requires special handling techniques and is so deadly that microscopic doses are 100% fatal. We all believe in good hygiene, but coming up, the story of a man attacked because he did not wash his hands. Stay with us, everyone.
We were one of the first biodiesel companies in the country, one of those classic businesses that started in a garage. And over the course of time, we've actually built our business off of our website. It's still the #1 place people find out where they can buy biodiesel in Oregon. We really rely on Comcast Workplace to do the work that we do. I'm bringing in emails that are 10 megs, and it amazes me how fast they load, 5 times faster than DSL. We looked at other high-speed options, but they all came up empty. With Comcast Workplace, we're not waiting, we're actually getting work done.
It's time to build your future. Comcast, a leader in communications technology, is offering sales positions with unlimited commission potential. Earn respect connecting your community with the finest in entertainment products. Get comprehensive training, plus paid vacation, 401k, tuition reimbursement, and free digital cable and high-speed internet. Comcast is the career opportunity that you're looking for. Apply online at Comcast.com and start building your future today.
How fast is your quarter mile?
Oh, 5 minutes 10?
How fast is your internet?
Oh, well, with Comcast, it's way faster than my old DSL.
They have this thing called Power Boost. Fastest thing I've ever seen. Games, music, videos.
I'm so glad I came back to Comcast.
Comes with free McAfee security.
It's fast, and it's safe.
They're making the internet fun again.
I only pay $33 a month for a whole year. I've never had a service disruption either.
So you can keep on running.
Exactly.
This holiday season, Providence Festival of Trees is making spirits bright. December 1st and 2nd at the Oregon Convention Center. The whole family will enjoy live entertainment, crafts, and of course all the dazzling holiday displays. Ride Max free from the Lloyd Center. Come to the Providence Festival of Trees, December 1st and 2nd at the Oregon Convention Center. For information, call 503-215-6070 or visit providence.org/Festival of Trees.
A 59-year-old grandmother from Northern California has been called up for duty in Afghanistan. Major Joe Danner, who joined the Air Force Reserves 13 years ago, will be shipping up after Christmas to serve 4 months in a military hospital assisting people there.
Whoever needs help, ladies having babies, kids with broken legs, people who step on landmines, whatever needs to be done.
Danner has already filled out all the birthday cards for friends and family, including her 11 grandkids while she's gone. She hopes to be back before her 60th birthday. San Diego police have launched an investigation into a posting on the online classified website Craigslist that offered a free baby boy to a good home. The ad also offered free delivery, but said the baby just sits in the closet and cries. Police first received complaints Thursday morning. Many think the ad is a hoax, but no one knows for sure, and the ad has since been deleted. Brutal bathroom etiquette, an argument over hand washing or lack thereof, leaves one man with multiple stab wounds. Fort Worth, Texas cops charged Eric Jennings Kasaya with suspicion of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon when he allegedly attacked one of his 3 friends for not washing his hands after using the restroom. Kasaya hid behind a shrub near the bar and attacked his friend as he was leaving. Russian spies, a deadly dose of poison, and accusations that world leader is behind it all. Sounds like a great Hollywood thriller, but is it for real? How did a strapping former KGB agent end up on his deathbed, and why would anybody want to do him in? Reporter Mark White from our sister network Sky News is live outside Scotland Yard in London with the very latest on that. Hello, Mark.
Brian, just last month, Alexander Litvinenko was a fit, healthy young man with everything to live for. A former Russian spy who defected to the West and accused the Russian government of all kinds of unsavory things, including the murder of political opponents. Well, this week, he died an agonizing death in a London hospital. Poisoned, the British government have confirmed, by a highly radioactive substance known as polonium-210. Now, Mr. Litvinenko believes that he was poisoned on the 1st of November, the day he met a number of contacts at a Japanese restaurant in central London and at a hotel near the American Embassy. Well, today the authorities here in London have confirmed that they have found traces of deadly polonium-210 at that Japanese restaurant and at the hotel. This is now much wider than simply an investigation into the killing of a former spy. It has wider health implications, and members of the public who may have been in contact with Mr. Litvinenko over the last month, who may have visited the Japanese restaurant or indeed the hotel, are being asked to contact the health authorities. In the meantime, the British government has called in the Russian ambassador and asked for Russia's help in the investigation. Well, Vladimir Putin, for his part, has also reiterated that the Russian government will do all it can to help in the investigation. And we have to say, despite the claims of Mr. Litvinenko's friends and family, there is no proof at this stage that the Russian government had any involvement in this former spy's death.
Thank you very much, Mark White, reporting from Scotland Yard. Now here with his analysis on this case, Ariel Cohen, an expert on Russian affairs. He is, of course, working with the Heritage Foundation in the Washington area. Good to have you here, Ariel. Your assessment of this situation, it's a bizarre case.
Well, nothing is clear here. It's a murky case. Litvinenko has a very long history with the Russian Secret Service and with Mr. Putin. He was an agent. He was a colonel in the service. He defected in '99. He accused Mr. Putin of being involved in blowing up buildings that led to the Second Chechen War in '99. And we cannot tell now because there are two sides. Litvinenko, before he died, accused the Russian services and Putin of complicity in his death. There is a series of poisonings or assassinations. We saw Anna Politkovskaya, a prominent critic of Putin, assassinated about a month ago.
The thing about this particular type of poison, this polonium-210, I understand that a microscopic amount is 100% fatal if it somehow gets into your system. I mean, you wouldn't even know that you had consumed it. The second thing about it is that apparently it's very difficult to handle. What do you draw from that?
It's a very professional assassination. That's why there is so much finger-pointing against the Russian Secret Services. The Russian Secret Services did have a history of assassinations, or Soviet Secret Services, history of assassinations and poisoning going back as far back as the times of Joseph Stalin, the communist dictator in the 20s, 30s, and 40s. But we also know that the authorization for assassination by a foreign secret service of the Russian Federation should come from the very top. So either Mr. Putin is out of control ordering hits, which, you know, it would be a stretch to think that, or the services are out of control
and not responding to him,
and are not letting Mr. Putin to tell them what to do.
There is this theory that the critics of Putin are behind this to make him look as if he has done this.
Well, but the question...
It's a frame-up job, some are saying.
It looks increasingly like a frame-up job because, as Putin himself said in Germany, the death of Ms. Politkovskaya, the journalist who was assassinated, makes Russia and the rulers of Russia look so bad. And now this death, but on the other hand, there is a power struggle in Moscow to succeed Mr. Putin, and the services are a player. So in that context, we don't understand clearly what is going on here.
The more you hear about it, the more interesting it gets. Thank you very much. Good to have you here. Celebrations commemorating the 50th anniversary of the start of the Cuban Revolution went on without one notable revolutionary, Fidel Castro. It was the first time Castro failed to preside over the ceremonies. More festivities honoring his rise to power are planned for December 2nd, but officials don't know if he'll be able to make those either. This weekend kicks off the holiday movie season. Bill McCuddy will tell you which ones are must-sees and which ones you can afford to miss. Plus, somebody's getting married, a small Swedish town in search of an Ingrid Bergman look-alike. We'll explain when we come back, everyone.
The Philips HD Flat TV with Ambilight is the only flat TV with the power to transform a mood at the touch of a button. Simplicity is a button that transforms television.
I've always wanted a farm, like my grandparents used to have, with a stable. You know, for the horses. A place where everyone can get together. Kids, grandkids, all my cousins, the whole family. And then pass it on to all the generations that come after me.
You once made a promise to yourself about your future. At John Hancock, we have the products you need to help build, protect, and sustain the future you've always wanted. John Hancock, the future is yours.
I'm thinking of a number between 450 and 850. Do you know what it is? It's my credit score, and it happens to be 720. The higher my credit score, the better chance I have of saving a lot of money. Do you know your credit score? Do you know what's in your credit report? You can find out right now at freecreditreport.com. You can even print it out if you want to. How much easier could it get? Log on to freecreditreport.com. That's freecreditreport.com.
Free credit report offer applies with enrollment in Triple Advantage.
For a free trial of prescription Actonel, keep listening.
I asked my doctor for one good reason to keep treating my osteoporosis with Actonel.
I gave her a whole list. An icy sidewalk, a misplaced garden hose, your grandson's toy truck. With osteoporosis, even a small fall can lead to a fracture.
Wow! I didn't know that.
Actonel can help prevent osteoporosis. Actonel helps protect your bones from the cells that cause osteoporosis to help them stay strong and fight fracture.
I'll stick with Actonel. My doctor told me Actonel is not for everyone. Women with low blood calcium or severe kidney disease shouldn't take Actonel, and you must be able to sit or stand for 30 minutes. My doctor also said to follow dosing instructions carefully. Stop taking Actonel and tell your doctor if you experience difficult or painful swallowing, chest pain, or severe or continuing heartburn, as these may be signs of serious upper digestive problems.
To get your certificate for a free trial of Actonel, call 1-800-278-0263 or visit Actonel.com.
Then talk to your doctor. And keep fighting fracture with Actonel.
More Michael Richards fallout. The two targets of the actor-comedian's racist rant are now demanding a personal apology and maybe some money. Richard, who played Kramer on the show Seinfeld, apologized on national TV, but Frank McBride and Kyle Doss say they want a face-to-face apology after being humiliated and even scared at one point. Their lawyer says a judge should decide whether any compensation is warranted. Richard's publicist says his clients want to apologize, but hasn't been able to locate the two men. A Swedish town is searching for a bride-to-be who looks like Ingrid Bergman to reenact the actress's first wedding in 1937. The search was initiated by the Folklore Society in the town of Stode, some 200 miles north of Stockholm, to mark the 70th anniversary of Bergman's wedding to Peter Aaron Lindstrom in the town church. The Folklore Society says it'll pay for the wedding dress and dinner for the lucky couple. And Denzel Washington has deja vu. Danny DeVito and Maverick Broderick fight it out. Fox's Bill McCuddy tells you what you can expect in the Foxlight.
Hey, Brian, how's this for star power? Denzel, Jack Black, Danny DeVito, and Hugh Jackman all trying to clobber the Penguins. Is that possible? Let's go to the movies. This is deja vu. This is deja vu. Okay, sorry. Denzel is a cop who's trying to stop something that's already happened. Not this movie, but that's not a bad idea. Mostly deja, huh? The whole plot turns on a Wayback Machine that sends Washington back 4 days and 6 hours. Don't ask. It's Bill and Ted without either of them or an excellent adventure. Denzel pulls this off, but just barely. Next, Tenacious D in The Pick of Destiny has the right letter grade in the title. Sorry, Jack Black. You and your HBO buddy are sort of out of your league. This is Tenacious DVD because that's where it's headed. Matthew Broderick and Danny DeVito are the new odd couple trying to outlight each other in Deck the Halls. DeVito wants to pump enough power through his holiday lights to give Al Gore a heart attack. It had dire endings for most of the critics, too. Finally, if one of the oddest films of the year is your cup of tea, join Hugh Jackman and Rachel Weisz for a drink from The Fountain. But bring Cliff Notes and some no-dos. These new additions to the multiplex marquee won't topple Little Penguins. Happy Feet will be a happy repeat at number one. According to experts, it should make around $31 million. Back to you.
All right, Borat has absolutely outraged officials in Kazakhstan, but a prominent Kazakh writer now says comedian Sacha Baron Cohen should receive one of the nation's most coveted literary awards. According to the Vremya newspaper, Baron Cohen has been nominated for the Kazakh Club of Art Patrons Award. The writer insists Borat has sparked an immense interest in Kazakhstan, something they say their authorities could not do. That's it for us. We've got to go. Don't forget about our Bah Humbug project. There's our address if you want to send us something that you hear. See you soon.
Taking Christ out of Christmas.
There are other people of other faiths who don't adhere to the Christian religion.
And even God off the dollar bill.
God we trust on our coins. I think that should be out of there.
Is this really what the Constitution demands?
That, I believe, is not the founders' intention.
The latest battlegrounds in America's war over religion.
Separation of church and state can't even be found in the Constitution.
Coming up, Religion in America, Church and State with Bret Hume.
Hello, everyone. I'm Greg Jarrett, a leader of Iraq's Sunni community condemning the violence tearing the country apart. Harith al-Dawri also used a news conference in Egypt to denounce the Iraqi government and the Shiite prime minister. After the massacre in Sadr City on Thursday, radical Shiite cleric Muqtada al-Sadr called on al-Dawri to issue a fatwa forbidding Sunnis from joining al-Qaeda. Meanwhile, the violence continues with 87 deaths across the country Friday, at least 20 today. South Korea taking steps to stop an outbreak of bird flu from spreading. The government slaughtering nearly 250,000 birds. All birds within 1,600 feet of the chicken farm where the outbreak flared up will be killed. South Korea slaughtered 5.3 million birds after its first flu scare back in 2003. A Protestant extremist being held on attempted murder charges in Belfast, Northern Ireland, Michael Stone, accused of throwing a package of explosives into a political meeting on Friday. Stone was jailed for life after a deadly 1988 attack on a Catholic funeral. He was then released from prison 6 years ago under the terms of a truce. A revived law has put a whole class of performers out of work in India. That's right, snake charmers. Scores of them marching in Orissa State today demanding new jobs. The government started enforcing the 32-year-old law 2 years ago. It bans the keeping of snakes as pets. My goodness. Coming up a bit later on today, a feel-good way to give gifts this holiday season. There's a website we want you to check out. It's kind of an online gift shop, but here's the best part. For every gift you buy, a portion of the proceeds goes to the charity of your choice. Or you can let the organization pick the charity. I'm going to tell you all about it when I see you at 3 p.m. right here on Studio B. And those are the latest headlines this hour. Fox News special Religion in America begins now. And for all the latest headlines, log on to our website, foxnews.com.
Good evening. Welcome to this Fox News special, Religion in America, Church and State. For the past half-century, the United States has been locked in a legal war that has driven the symbols of religion out of schools, city halls, and state houses and threatens to go farther. The war is fought in hundreds of small legal skirmishes across the country, but it often ends up in the Supreme Court of the United States, which still begins each session with the words, "God save this honorable court." But will the honorable court save God? In towns across the country, Americans are getting ready for Christmas and Hanukkah. 50 years ago, scenes like this would have been as uncontroversial as the notion of loving your country. But not anymore.
It gets absurd this time of year. You can't call it a Christmas tree. You can't say Merry Christmas in the hallways. Whatever happened to freedom of speech? Why can't we call these things what we know them to be?
From the first arrival of the Pilgrims in 1620, the idea of free public religious expression has been a fundamental part of the idea of America. The Continental Congress in 1774 opened its first session with a prayer, a practice that has continued unbroken for 231 years. Gracious God. Today, we still pay homage to God on our money, in the words carved on our public buildings, and in the oaths of office that our public officials swear. But all of those concepts and more have come under fire.
So help me God.
And the legal battles that have resulted have usually gone one way: to drive religion and its symbols out of the American public square where they had thrived since the Revolution. And more Americans are unhappy with the result. 81% disagree that all religion should be excluded from public life. 76% say it should be legal to display the Ten Commandments on government property. 90% believe under God should remain in the Pledge of Allegiance. And 93% want to keep In God We Trust on the currency. Tonight, Fox News will take you on a tour of the religious battlefield of the United States. To understand what the fight is about, we'll also take you inside the Supreme Court half a century ago, as it suddenly decided to turn all of previous American constitutional history around and create a new kind of church-state separation.
The First Amendment is increasingly used to silence people of faith, to silence faith-based ideas. And this is not the mandate of the First Amendment. It's a transformation of the First Amendment.
And we'll show you how the tide may be turning. You'll meet some of the people who have been fighting with increasing success to scale back the intimidating church-state wall. And you'll see what recent changes in the court could mean for religious liberty.
Does a one-vote shift make a difference? Tips the balance one way or another. So this is a situation where it's kind of, winner take all, loser take nothing.
But first we'll show you what the founders themselves thought they were doing when they first guaranteed American religious freedom.
The founders never wanted religious discrimination. They wanted no special privileges for religion. But at the same time, we shouldn't penalize citizens because of their religious beliefs. And the founders understood that, I think, much better than we understand that now.
That's all coming up this hour on Religion in America, Church and State.
The captioning for this program is brought to you by...
New from the makers of Head-On, introducing Activon. Arthritis pain? Activon. Apply directly where it hurts. Activon, available.